What's up to all my lovely people out there? We're back at it again with a vlog for August. Yeah, it's gonna be from August. I think it's gonna be for August. So it's going to be a writing vlog, and I'm excited to talk to you about the book that I am writing next. If you guys watched one of my last videos, it was on pivoting while writing. And so I basically talked about what it was like for me to switch from my latest work in progress, AJ Installments, to this new book that I'm writing. And I noted in the video, which you're gonna have to watch, how I'm very excited to transition from AJ Installments to this book that has been on my mind for a while. And so for the month of August, you'll just see me writing about my book. I'm trying to determine whether I'm going to give you a sneak peek into what I'm writing and the topic of what I'm writing on. As I write it, I don't know. So, we'll see. But I will say one thing about what I'm writing on is the reason why I pivoted, which again, watch my latest video. The reason why I'm pivoting from writing on AJ Installments to writing on this is because I was struggling immensely with writing AJ Installments. It didn't flow. I rewrote the first chapter, I want to say about 15 times, 20 times. And I'm the kind of writer who likes to write in chronological order. I don't like to write a chapter on chapter 20 before I've written chapter 1. That's just, it doesn't feel right to me. I've tried it, I think, once before. And I like for the story to organically form. I like for the characters to tell me the story as we go along. And I don't get that same feel when I jump out of that order to go to chapter 20 and then come back to chapter 1. It just feels so odd. And I'm like, what story am I telling? But with this new work in progress, I resonate with the story. I feel the story being told. And I know I said this about AJ Installments in one of my vlogs, but at the end of the day, even after I got through writing and I felt the story coming along, I didn't really feel connected to the story. And that, I think, in itself is the reason why I had to switch, because I just no longer felt like I could tell the story the way I wanted to. And with this new work in progress, I have a story that I'm not trying to push out. So that is the main difference. I'm not trying to push it. I have it ready. It's ready to come on out, you know? And so that is what we'll be seeing in August, what I'll be writing on. And I think I will tell you guys what I'm working on. Not just a little cute little title, but I will tell you guys maybe what my work in progress is. But until then, enjoy my little writing updates. I think one of the best things someone can have as a writer, whether that be a traditional writer or a self-published writer, is having that circle of friends who can help you along your writing journey. For me, this circle of friends is my sister and my best friend, and they both are writers in their own aspect. You can follow them on their YouTube channels. I'll put up their handles somewhere along here. But I think one of the beautiful things is that while I was trying to figure out what I was going to be writing on, I had someone to go to talk about why I couldn't and didn't feel like moving forward with AJ Installments and why I needed to go to something else. And my friends didn't just say, hey, drop AJ Installments and move on to this new book that you're filling. They gave me reasons why I should at least attempt to try it out. And then they said, if those don't work, then you can move forward to this book that you're working on. But at least give it a chance. And so I appreciate that because they pushed me to not give up on the one project and to move forward when it was deemed necessary and fitting. So even if it's a community online, I think it is valuable to have people who can provide you with not just like an advice on the actual words being written, but feedback and advice on how you feel as an author, what you're working through as a writer, and how to move from one work in progress to another, or when it is time to move from one work in progress to another, if it comes to that. So there's value in a good writing community, whether it be online, in person, friend-wise, virtually. So yeah, I just realized I say "so" a lot in my YouTube videos when I'm doing the vlogging. I think it's just to transition from one section to the other. And I realized I also said the vlogging, like the vlogging. I don't know, it just stuck out to me. But I do say "so" a lot because I'm like, oh, okay, how do I move from this part to the next part? And I was just about to say it again. We're gonna make an effort to not use that filler word. Anywho, I'm gonna use another one. All right, that was it. That's all I had to say about that. Community is valuable. I don't always journal, but when I do, I find this special moment when I'm talking to God about my thoughts, about my day, about my week, to be helpful to my writing. Because this is a time for me to get connected with my feelings, with my emotions, with what I am feeling and thinking, and how that relates to Jesus. And so in this moment of hanging out with God via words, I appreciate the inner dialogue and the inner thoughts that I have with myself, and I am able to figure out how my characters in my stories have inner dialogues and have their thoughts and what they feel on the inside. So what I'm ultimately saying is that when I connect with God via words, via my feelings, emotions, and thoughts, it helps me to build a strong emotional and mental background for my characters. It's a way for me to practice writing first person, honestly. It helps me to bring realistic inner thoughts to the story. It's not necessarily the question of how would I think in this situation, but how does one realistically think in this situation that I'm writing in the book? And because I have a background of writing out my thoughts, writing about my emotions, writing about the spiritual aspects of life, and talking to God and Jesus about that, I'm able to write, for example, in the group with Amiko, I'm able to write her feelings down in a realistic way that is true to her and true to any person dealing with time travel. My tea kettle just turned back on. So I have been reading, I said so again, I have been reading Reacher by Lee Child, and I actually have been reading this book for over a month now. But I really like Reacher ever since I saw the Reacher series on Prime. And I think this is a great example of reading books outside of the genre that you're writing in, because my genre that I'm writing in is definitely outside of spy and espionage right now. But I love reading Reacher, and I can take little tidbits of the action and fighting scene because there are characters in my book who fight and they have fighting skills. And so I love to see various examples of how other characters fight in their stories and how writers write the action scenes. So I can take little bits and pieces from that and put that in my own novel. I don't know if you noticed this, but I have a little recurring theme that in all of my novels, someone has to know how to fight. Somebody has to, because I think fighting is martial arts or any form of martial arts is a form of art. And I like displaying that and testing the boundaries and the limits of some of my characters' physicality. And I just love a good fight scene in a TV show too. So that's probably why I like Reacher. But let's get to this reading. Hopefully, I have to finish this in a couple days because I have to return it back to the library. But this is a good book. This one is A Wanted Man. Reacher is hitchhiking on the side of the road and he gets picked up by some very not so good people.